Hi there, this is called the poisoned rook trap and it's in the Sicilian defence, and this can be an annoying line for many novices with the white pieces. However, in this dynamic position, fortunes can change very quickly. After e4 and c5, knight f3, black plays e6, white continues d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, black knight f6, hitting the pawn on e4, and the natural defense is knight c3. Many novices here will play bishop b4 here, pinning the knight on c3, which means that the pawn on e4 is targeted. However, most of the top grandmasters will play a move like d6 here. That's the move favoured by Garry Kasparov, entering into the Scheveningen variation, or knight c6 is also very playable. But going back to this move bishop b4, it's not a bad move, and in fact Van Velde and Fedorov are amongst those top GMs that have played this bishop b4 line. Well, it's a very direct approach, hitting the pawn now on e4, and white will continue with e5, and there are some very good chances here for white in this line. Black can be tempted now into a mistake. Instead of running with the knight and having great offensive chances for black as well as for white, black might be tempted into playing this erroneous move, queen a5. It seems to have a lot going for it. Well, it targets the pawn on e5. It also supports the bishop, who's hitting the knight on c3. And if bishop takes the knight on c3 and b takes c3, queen takes c3, is certainly going to win material for black. However, that queen a5 is a losing move, as white wins as follows. E takes on f6, allowing black's idea of bishop takes on c3. After b takes on c3, queen takes on c3, black's going to return some material here. However, not bishop d2, which will allow queen takes on d4 with a fine game for black. Rather, queen d2, offering up that rook on a1. Black will take that rook, queen takes on a1, and now subtle little move c3 blocks in the black queen on a1, and the immediate threat is knight b3, hitting the queen, sending her to b1, the only flight square, and bishop then to d3 is going to pick up the queen. So black has to preempt this and do something about it immediately. Queen b1. White will continue with trying to shut off some escape routes for the queen. The queen's threatening to run on the b file or back to, say, e4 or g6 along that diagonal. Bishop d3 hits the queen, sends her back to b6, and now f takes on g7, forcing rook g8, and now that pawn on g7 is a monster, and that's going to be defended with either queen g5 or queen h6. Here we're looking at queen h6, and it really looks totally over as black is so underdeveloped. White is threatening taking on h7 and picking up the rook. Well, black could probably play a move, maybe queen c5, queen c7, maybe temporarily targeting that c pawn, but nothing will come of that. Black might try f5 so that the king can slide over to f7 to support the rook. But after f5, queen h7, king f7, and white's going to win with a lovely little sacrifice. Knight takes on f5. The knight's threatening to jump to h6. So if the knight is taken, e takes on f5. That opens up this a2, g8 diagonal for the bishop to come to c4. Check, king e7, and now queen takes on g8. Black could struggle on for a couple of moves, maybe queen f6 to defend the f8 square. But now bishop g5 happily gives up the bishop, pinning the queen, forcing queen takes g5 more or less, and then queen f8 is checkmate on the move. So this has been the poisoned rook trap in the Sicilian. Hope you found this useful. Bye bye.